everybody. Welcome to Lonely Homes and Scattered Minds, or Scattered Minds and Lonely Homes. Um, Last week we left off in a rough shape. Before we start, I have to say we are sponsored by Grinding Coffee Company. Use the discount code Gunmetal Blues to get good discount. Um, Today we are joined by Heck, Holly, Par,
Hey,
Janie, and now Raven, who is here for the rest of the series. Um, this is, if you haven't watched the last episode for some reason, maybe you're just joining in the middle. This is a psychological horror series where everyone is trapped in a complex, a living facility where strange things happen. This is heavily based off of the adventure in the Fate Worlds in Darkness book No Exit by Shoshana Kesak. So if you like that and you want to see more of that, you can check that out. So with that all out of the way. Also I'm Mateo, the storyteller. Forgot myself. Now we can start. So last time we left off, our three players were on the roof. Were on the roof of the complex, and they saw some of their memories that they did not know were right. And they learned a bit about themselves, maybe forgot something about themselves. And then we ended with them getting caught on the roof. We are not going to start off right back there, however, because today we have a new character to introduce, Dr. Adria Jenkins. Raven, would you like to tell us a bit about your character? Okay. Um, about, I'll say, a day before our party ventured out of their rooms, um, Adria, you wake up at night in a kind of panic, a kind of sweat. You had a dream about something, but you can't quite remember what it was. Um, it was something vague about the past, but you woke up and it all kind of went away. Um, then you have a feeling to check your door. And so you go and you open your door, and someone has left something outside of your door. Um, it hasn't been slid under unlike the others, and it's not in your room, but this is right outside your door, as if they didn't have enough time to actually get it into your room before running off. Um, what you have is a library card from the Boston Public Library with your name on it, though the name is a little smudged. Can you tell us? Um, can you tell us what this library card represents and what memory it brings up for you?
flips it over. Um, Perhaps it's just a brief flash of a large library, the kind that has like the ladders with the wheels on them, so they just like slide down all the shelves. Um, and perhaps a memory of grabbing a book off of one of those top shelves and almost falling, but catching yourself at the last second. Um, and in the process, the book falls from their hand and opens on the floor. And she remembers uh, a page from a medical journal that the book happened to be talking about memory, and that's about where the recollection ends.
Okay. Um, yeah. So you get this mysterious package. You don't know who left it. There seems to be no trace of anyone. So you go back into your room to contemplate whatever this is. Tell us a little about Adria's room. What makes it what makes it hers?
Oh, it is the epitome of organized chaos. Um, there are probably two or three different desks on different walls of the room, all of which are covered with piles of either papers or books or papers held down by stacks of books. Um, and to the just random person off the street, if they were to come in there, they would think it was all just clutter. But it's distinctly organized for whatever projects or thoughts she has throughout the day. So she knows exactly where to go to grab the thing that she's looking for. Um, the decorations are probably a bit Spartan. Um, Maybe a couple of like jazz posters on the wall, maybe a mirror, and the bed is um, comfortable but not particularly fancy. Um, and there's a bedside table with probably four or five different glasses on it, with various levels of liquid in them. Um, and missing from its spot is a spot for a pad of paper and pen, which she can't seem to find.
Okay. You is Adria one for coffee in the morning?
Absolutely. Yep. Coffee in the morning and tea in the evening.
So I would assume that after whatever just happened, um, you would probably like to go down to the Daily Java in the lobby to get some coffee, probably.
Probably.
All right. So you go down to the Daily Java, um, and when you sit down, you're a familiar face, someone you know as Angie comes and says, "Oh well, hey honey, what can I get you today? The usual."
Oh, hello there, Angie. I thought about switching things up today, but no, I think I will go with the usual now that you mention it. That sounds good.
All right. She gets the coffee, uh, pours it in your cup. Seem a little distracted today. Something on your mind?
Oh, well, I had this dream that I can't recall. Um, I went to go grab my pad of paper right after I woke up, and for some reason it wasn't there. And I always leave it there, so I don't know why it wasn't there. Um, but anyways, I was distracted from that by a knock on my door, and somebody left this library card for me, and no return address or anything like that. And I'm not really sure
Hmm.
why I have this, but I suppose next time I go to Boston, it'll be useful.
Well, I guess maybe sometimes things we aren't expecting are maybe they can be a blessing, I guess, in disguise. Um, I mean, I hope you're the only one having package troubles today. Um, she she goes and puts goes down behind the counter, puts the coffee mug back on the hot plate. Um, I would like you to roll a notice for me.
Notice. Okay.
I'm gonna set that at 2.
All right. So make sure I'm remembering how to do this right. So I roll 4 dice,
Mhm.
and then I have notice as a fair, so I get +2 to the total, or how does the +2 work
Plus
again?
plus 2 to the total. When you roll your d6, a 1 and 2 is a minus, so that's a -1. A 3 and a 4 is a neutral, so that's a 0, and a 5 and a 6 is a plus, so that's a +1.
Okay.
So you add those to your total.
Gotcha. So that's 2, 1, 0. That's blank. That's a -1.
Oh, -1 even with the plus 2?
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay.
Very
What do you
distracted by that library card.
just looking down at it. If you would like, um, you may trigger one of your aspects to either get some kind of bonus on that if you would like.
Um, let's see. Um, I don't think I have anything that in my aspects that would really make me
Fair.
notice something around me. Honestly, they're more likely to keep me from noticing things around me.
Yeah. Fair. So you nothing unusual happens today. You're you get a weird thought of something that maybe something's happening around you, but you just kind of falls to the wayside and it clears your head. You're not worried about whatever that passing thought was.
Okay.
Um, what what do you decide to do after your coffee? What is your usual day like here? What is your usual mundane day like in this complex?
I think let's see, a Monday. Um I think they'll head back up to their room and grab um whatever book that she happens to be making her way through. Um and like a little camp chair kind of a deal. That's something that's really easy to just sling over her shoulder with a little strap, and head out to some part of the building that has both quiet and some kind of view, depending on the layout of the building, maybe even the roof.
Yeah, that works. You head out. You head onto the roof. And you start reading this book. Uh, while you're on the roof, you start to feel a little woozy, like vertigo is hitting you just out of nowhere. Um, Vertigo starts hitting you, and the fog that seems to always be on this island that you're on, which usually you can see pretty far, but it's pretty foggy, seems to be getting thicker and closer as you're sitting here. How do you react to that?
Um, about what time of day is it, and can she see the sun?
So it'd be about morning, probably almost noon, like 11 a.m. After you had your coffee, you went to back to your room to get your book. You
Mhm.
read a bit. So you'd be able to see the sun. It's
Okay. Um, I think she'd probably reach into her bag. She probably has like a very professor looking messenger bag kind of thing, like leather, almost briefcase looking. Um, Grab a notebook out of that and a pen and just start noting down the time and the position of the sun. Kind of squints out at the fog. That is so fascinating. I'm surprised that fog is not burning off with the sunlight this late in the day. So just kind of make some notes of that observation that seems unusual. And she decides that maybe later she'll look up the weather and see what like maybe the barometric pressure and what weather patterns have been. It's a curiosity that now she's focused on.
okay. I'm gonna roll some dice here. Roll me. I will say, roll me either a will or a notice, whatever is
Will
best for you.
is good. It's a +3, so I'm going to go with that. So that is a 3, 4, blank, blank. So 3.
Okay. You are sitting here just trying to read your book after just noticing the fog is acting strange. And you can't escape this strong feeling of vertigo, this strong feeling of like I'm very high up right now and I am scared. Um you you start shaking a little bit and you don't know why. It's never been a problem before, but just suddenly you want to get down. You are too high up and you are not comfortable and you don't feel safe. And as you have that thought, the fog starts closing in a little bit more.
Yeah, so I think they quickly gather up their things and rush to the door, back down to the lower floors. And as soon as they have the door shut behind them, um, she just leans against the door um, with a hand on her chest.
You get
Um,
to the door and you open it up, and something about the doorway is strange to you. Like like you're looking through a window, or you're looking through water, or like a fishbowl or something. It just looks wavy and distorted. Um and when you walk through, you don't feel anything, but you go to pull the door in behind you, and suddenly your hand just hits a pitch black wall behind you. You can't see through anymore to the roof. You're on the stairwell, and there's just a pitch black, solid wall right behind you.
uh, it's definitely quite alarming. So I think she pulls her hand back very quickly. What the hell? That's never happened before. Um, and she's starting to panic. So she goes to the first step of the stairs and sits down and says, "All right, let's work through this. Uh, I didn't take an edible this morning, so it's not that. Uh, okay, I'm on the stairs. I'm safe. Just breathe." And then she opens her eyes to see if the wall is still there and looking black.
Yeah, the wall would still be there.
Okay. It's like, well, I don't think there's anything wrong with me, so there must be something wrong with the world. Why would it be a pitch black wall instead of a door? And she kind of with shaky hands fiddles for her notebook and starts writing down exactly what just happened and how she's feeling. She takes her heart rate, which is elevated, um, and kind of tries to logic her way through what just happened without a lot of success at the moment.
Um, would you like to roll some dice to try and think this through? Um,
Um, I
you
would love
can
to.
you can roll me either investigate or lore, and depending on what you roll, that will be different.
Yeah, the one aspect that I have unlocked is I've read about that, and it's also a stunt that I have. So going with lore seems like definitely the way that she would go. That's a +4. Um, so I think now that she's figured out like there doesn't seem anything wrong with me. There seems to be something wrong with the world. Have I read about anything like this happening before? Um, so we're gonna go with lore, and that's gonna be 4, 5, back down to 4.
Okay, so are you using that stunt right now?
No, I'm just doing the lore
Gotcha,
roll.
gotcha, gotcha. And what did you say? What was that?
4.
Or, um, yeah, sure, that's a tie. Um, so you succeed. Um, at a minor cost. You think about this, and you keep thinking, and you're like, how could this logically be possible? And through that, your brain jumps from logic to fiction. So
Okay.
things you've read, this feels like something supernatural in some kind of way, based on all the books you've read and all that knowledge of lore and history in your head. Um, you kind of surmise that this isn't logical, so something weird is happening here. Um, and now that you know that what's happening here isn't logical at all, how would you react to that?
Um, so this is very uncomfortable territory for Adria. Um, so I think she takes a moment to kind of steel her nerves, takes a deep breath. Okay, um, this isn't science. This is supernatural. This is paranormal. What do I know about that? Not a lot. Okay. And she reaches in her bag, and you know those little like to go packets of silverware, and it's got like a little packet of salt and pepper in there. Um, she remembers reading about salt affecting ghosts and things like that. So she grabs the little salt packet out of that, rips the top off, and is holding it like she's ready to like mace somebody with it as she slowly goes down each step.
Okay,
Hello? Is there
so
anything here that shouldn't be here?
based on that reaction, your minor cost is I'm going to give you a situational aspect.
Okay.
Um, maybe a little scared is what it is.
Okay.
Write that down.
Yeah, she's definitely scared.
Just a little. Can I just say that, like, that is one of the best uses of just a random silverware packet. Just
Thank you.
So, you start heading down these steps. Um, I want you to roll me physique or
Uh,
athletics, whichever one you have more.
Okay. I have strength from determination, so I can use will instead of physique on any overcome rolls representing feats of strength. Is that what's
And
hap-
that's a stunt, right?
Mhm.
So in order to use a stunt, you must spend a fate point. Is that okay?
Um yes, cuz otherwise I'm going to have a very very bad outcome.
That is quite fine.
All
Okay.
right. That's going to be 1 2 and I'm using will. Oh, sweet, that's a 5.
5. Um so you're walking down these stairs, and what you start to realize is that these stairs, they're longer than you remember. You don't remember walking up this much to get to these stairs. Um and since you're walking backwards, you're not really looking at like how many flights you've gone down. You just keep walking, but you're not tiring out at all, because you're just trying to ward off whatever this is. Um, your willpower right now is stronger than your f- your your need to rest.
All right. Um
You succeeded by you did succeed by 3 shifts,
oh wow.
so you can get an additional benefit if you want. So that basically means you can um you can either invoke a situational aspect or just create an aspect right now as a boost, which is like a one-time use that you can invoke whenever while we're in this scene, if you would like.
Okay. Hmm. Um
I can help with
yeah,
suggestions if you'd like to.
I think I would like to have an aspect like go ahead and use this of like a one-time thing of something like mind like a trap kind of a thing. So Adria starts counting the steps and can keep that in her head the whole time. Um, so as soon as she starts to realize like okay this seems longer than usual, she's going to start counting the steps and seeing just how many it takes to get down to the bottom. um, and then she can go back and cross reference it to how many are actually supposed to be there is
Okay, so
kind of what's going through her head right now.
I'm gonna call that the situational aspect here. I'm gonna call that more steps than usual.
I am
Um,
here for it.
so as you are walking down, counting these steps, you realize like you're getting to a really high number. Eventually, you get to a very high number that like isn't logically possible. Something weird is happening, and these steps are not ending. And as far as you can tell, every landing you get to, there's no doors on them. Um, with that, with that knowledge, I'm gonna say roll yourself a clarity check.
Okay, that's a +1.
Yeah, everyone's clarity will be +1 for now.
This is definitely going to change dice because that's let's see, that's a -1.
I'm gonna tell you now what what I rolled for this is an 8. Um, so if you would like to, you still have this free aspect to invoke if you would
Okay.
like. Invoking aspects. This is free, so you won't have to spend a fate point. But What you can do is, using it, you can either re-roll your dice, get +2 to your roll.
Okay.
And I believe in situations you can add +2 to someone else's roll, but no one else is here.
Okay.
So if you would like to invoke that free aspect, that boost,
That
you
sounds like a
may.
good idea.
If you invoke a boost, it goes away, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. I think probably just gonna re-roll. Well, there's literally no way I can beat an 8.
Maybe.
Well, even if I got a +1 on all 4 dice, I only have a 1 in it, so the highest I could possibly get would be 5. Um,
Mm,
but I could use, I've read about that, to use lore in place of another skill by spending a fate point.
and a fate point. And if you get a good enough roll, you can also spend another fate point to invoke another aspect and get +2 if you
All
need.
right. All right. Yeah, we're gonna switch to lore, and I'm gonna roll again, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, that's so much better. That is an 8.
Hey, okay. So you
It's literally the
succeed at
highest
a
I could
minor
get.
cost. You succeed at minor cost, unless you'd like to spend another fate point for an aspect, which
I'm down
maybe.
to 1. I think I'm gonna hold on to it.
Yeah. You, as you start realizing, like, these stairs are wrong. This is all wrong. This is not how things are supposed to be. Your head kind of clears a little bit, and that bit of vertigo goes away. And you trip a little bit, and you stumble down the stairs, and you fall into a door, and now you are in what you can only assume is the basement. The never-ending stairs are
Okay.
gone, but now you're in the basement. Um, the basement is basically just a boiler room. It's all the pipes that go to all the rooms, all the plumbing, all the heating, all the air conditioning. It's all runs through here. There's a big boiler, and you see someone standing at the boiler, um, and he's just looking at it. He's just standing there looking at it.
Okay. Going to approach cautiously. And once I'm about like maybe 8 feet away or so, just do a little. uh, Hello there. I don't really know how I got here in the basement. Are you lost?
He does not answer you. If you would like, you can roll me a notice to see if you know who this is with his back
Okay.
turned.
All right. Notice I've got a +2. That's 2, 3, blank, blank, -1. So that's 2.
Okay. Rolled a 2. I'm gonna. Okay, yeah, you win that. What you notice is this is the head caretaker of the complex. He basically is the manager of all of the caretakers. So all of those people who are all like dressed in white and just ready to get you anything you need, he is their boss. He is the head guy.
Okay. Um, do I know his name?
Yeah, his name is Ernest.
Ernest, I love that. Yeah, she's gonna continue talking. Oh, Ernest, yes. So I was on the roof and came back inside, and then the door was no longer a door. It was a wall of darkness, and then the stairs were definitely more stairs than exist in this building. Um, all of which shouldn't happen. Um, so, are, have you been experiencing other or heard reports of other strange things happening in the building?
He he still does not answer you.
Okay, maybe we're all drunk then. Um, just gonna very cautiously walk up and kind of reach as far as she can to tap him on the shoulder and then quickly move back.
You tap him on the shoulder, and he slowly turns around and looks at you, and he stares you dead in the eyes, and he puts his hand straight on the boiler, straight on the metal boiler, and it's burning, and he is giving no reaction. He's just standing there with his hand on there, and it is you can hear the sizzle. It's just like shh, and he's burning. Um,
Um,
and he's not saying a word. He's just looking at you directly.
the mystery of the stairs and the wall and everything that's wrong with the world right now kind of quickly goes to the back burner. Um, and her instinct to protect people when she sees them in danger kind of kicks in. So she's going to try and grab him by, I don't know if he's wearing like he has something with a lapel or not, but like by
He's
the
he's
collar,
he's
lapel, something like that.
he's just wearing like a basic t-shirt and like some striped pajama pants.
Okay. Then probably good fistful of the t-shirt in both hands and just try and yank him away from the boiler.
um, let's call that either physique or athletics.
Yep. She's going to fail at that. But the attempt is the important part. um, let's see. That is a -1.
So I rolled a one. um, that will fail. You try and pull him away, and he's just steadfast on there. He is a brick wall. He is not budging as you pull him. Um, as this happens, um, a steam from the boiler starts to bubble out, um, and you're now again surrounded by like a thick fog-like steam. Um, and in the steam, a sort of vision starts to play out. If you will, could you tell me um the memory of your aspect everyone knows your name. Give me a memory that aspect correlates with or what it comes from.
Um, I think she goes back to a memory, um, probably at least from her perspective, um, from about 5 years ago. Um, going into whatever university she was teaching at the time, there was like a campus coffee shop, kind of a deal where a lot of students would go and meet up to discuss ideas and assignments and things like that. Sort of like a think tank, a casual think tank. Um, Most of the faculty didn't really go there, but Adria really enjoyed going and talking to the students outside of um, the classroom structure. Um, and so she has a memory of walking into that coffee shop and um, seeing, just random names. a student named Peter, who flagged her down to uh, talk about an assignment in a different class, um, and then several other people kind of waving and noticing that she was there. Um, so just feeling that sort of sense of popularity, not in like a vain way, but in a like I'm comfortable here. I have friends here, um, and I can be useful in this space.
So you walk down this. You watch yourself walking down the hall, and people nodding at you, and people saying hello. And what you notice, um, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna offer you a fate point, um,
Okay.
for what's going to happen next.
So say, what's the catch?
What you notice is everyone knows your name, and you are glad about that. Like, you have friends everywhere, and that's what you thought. But what you notice is someone who looks at you not of like compassion or fondness or familiarity, but looks at you with disdain and maybe some kind of anger. Um, and you realize that everyone knows your name. Um, Even people who maybe you wish didn't. Um, so you see this play out, and you realize this isn't quite what you remember. That memory never didn't have anything negative to it as far as you recall, but this one person sticks out in your head. Um, this one person who isn't fond of you. Um, with that, I'm gonna ask you to roll me a clarity.
Okay. Okay. Clarity. So that is a 0.
Okay, so this is gonna be an important roll. What I have is a 2.
Okay.
You do have 2 fate points now. You can invoke an aspect to succeed at a minor cost. Because it would be +2, and that would be a tie.
Okay.
You can try to re-roll to succeed with no minor cost, or if you'd like, if you think it'd be more interesting, you cannot invoke the aspect and let this roll fail.
Um, would invoking a trouble be invoking an aspect? Or
If you can spin it in a positive way, then yes. Anything on your sheet, in that aspects column, you can invoke.
yeah. So what I kind of imagine with how you were describing that is maybe some of those students were no longer students when she starts to look around. Um, so Adria has PTSD, and I imagine it might be because I hadn't quite figured out what the trigger was yet. Um, but they're very active in like civil rights and things like that. So perhaps they've been to several protests that did not go peacefully. Um, so perhaps they're now police officers, um, and um, and they know her name, and they are looking very angrily. Um, so that could be something that would trigger her condition, and might be enough to snap her out of the vision, um, because she's having like a panic attack. So she's not paying attention to the vision anymore. She's now paying attention to, I'm having a hard time breathing. My heart's racing. Um, so
Um,
focusing more on her physical condition rather than what she's
so
seeing.
what you're saying is, instead of being in this vision at the moment, you basically go into a panic attack, and that kind of pulls you out of it.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome, actually. Okay. Spend a fate point.
Okay.
You invoke that. Um, you had +2 to your dice. It is now tied a minor cost. You kind of gave me your cost already. So
Okay.
that's great. Um, you have a full blown panic attack right here. You kind of, I would assume you like kind of like drop down. You're like maybe trying to like block your vision or something.
Um,
Um,
yeah. Probably eyes closed. Probably something along the lines of like, "This isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't then. This isn't that time. I am okay. I am safe."
would
Going through all of the self-soothing. So she is like solely focused inward right now.
I'd like you to mark the 1 on your mental stress for that.
Okay. Okay.
Um, you don't know how long you sit there calming yourself down from this panic attack. It could have been hours, it could have been minutes, you could have been here the whole day. Time kind of just faded away for you in that moment. And when you finally do get calm enough to look up, um, you notice that the vision kind of paused where you stopped looking. And when you look up and allow it to play further, um, you see it keep going. Um, and in your vision, you had a bit of panic from whoever this person was, but at the at the end of the day, this same person comes into your room, into whatever your classroom is, and they ask you, they say, "I didn't even want to take your class, and now I'm failing, and I'm not going to get my degree because of it." How would you respond in the back then? How would you have responded?
Um, that's a good question. I think she would probably respond with compassion, understanding that this student is angry and feeling defeated and therefore is lashing out a bit. Um, and she would take a seat next to the student and say, "Well, I understand that you're failing, um, but I see that you've put in effort, and if you're failing, well, then that is a failure on my part as well. So let's not have you not graduate. Let's see what we can do to help you understand the material. And if you are willing to put in some extra time, I will as well, and I will help you."
What you see after that, actually, yeah, what you see after that is they kind of start crying. They start breaking down because this was very hard for them. Um, and what happens is, for the rest of the month, let's say it was the month of finals, they come to you for help almost every day. But in the end, they don't pass. You did all you could, and you tried your hardest to help this person graduate, and They just couldn't. They didn't. Um, and what happens is they, in a time of stress and a time of anxiety, they take it all out on you, and they blame you for not passing despite doing everything you could. And seeing this memory, you realize that maybe maybe being known by everyone isn't always great, and maybe it didn't work out for them in the end, but you also realize that you did do all you could, and you also take sympathy on them, and you realize that they were stressed and they probably didn't mean everything they said, and they said it in a time of panic. um and as you realize this, uh the steam clears the steam clears. Ernest falls over. um his hand comes off the pipe, he falls over, he's passed out. um you improve your clarity +1. You now have clarity at fair for +2.
Ooh, fantastic.
And the aspect everyone knows your name is now awakened, meaning I have no control over that memory. It is completely reliable, and you completely remember it.
Awesome.
As this happens, as you gain some clarity in the situation, and you see Ernest on the ground, what do you do seeing Ernest on the ground with a burnt hand?
Um, I think she's probably, um, yeah, she's definitely a Trekkie. Um, so I think coming out of that vision, she's reminded of a line that she, you know, saw in an episode once, like, "It is possible to do everything right and still fail." I have to remember that is just life. Okay, and then focuses over onto Ernest. Oh hell, how long was I out? How long has he been there? I don't. He can't answer me. I don't know. Okay, what do we do first? Hand. So she goes to check the hand to see if it's like how bad it is.
It's really bad. Um, from what you can tell, his hand is probably on there for quite a while. It's completely like like scarred up, like torn up and red, and maybe even a little bit purple. If you looked at the boiler, you would notice there's probably a little bit of skin on there still.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
it's really bad.
okay. Um, she'll check for a pulse, make sure he's breathing.
He's still alive. Yeah.
Okay. Um, since he seems to be unconscious, and this probably won't, uh, cause him to be in excruciating pain. Um, I kind of imagine she probably has a flask of something in her briefcase most of the time. Um, it's a high enough alcohol content to work as a makeshift um, antiseptic. Um, she's gonna try to pour some of that on the hand and then wrap it up in a handkerchief um, as best she can.
Okay, you do that. As you do that, the basement door flings open, and you see a man in all black um, coming through and seeing you and this man on the ground. And he kind of strides over like calmly, and he squats down. This is someone from management,
Okay.
Um, just a plain, like, forgettable face, like someone you've probably never seen before. You've seen a bunch of these guys around probably, and you've never remembered any of their faces, so you don't know his name.
Okay.
Um, he leans down and he looks at the guy's hand. He looks at Ernest's hand. He says, "He's hurt. Let's get you two to the infirmary." And he gets up and he picks Ernest up, says, "Follow me," and he starts walking out. Are you gonna follow him?
Yeah, I think Adrio definitely wants to make sure that Ernest is okay. Um, Figures that he must have been in some sort of uh, drugged or altered mind state to do that to himself. So she wants to go make sure he's okay and find out what happened. And also, like, she really doesn't want to be alone after the whole door and stair incident. Um, so yeah, she'll quickly gather her things and follow.
Okay. Now that we've been through there, give me 1 second to plug my headphones in.
No worries.
We're dying. I need to plug them in. Okay. Let's now go to jump over to our other group. Our group of Adonis, Amelia, Nicole, and tell me who are on the roof and a member of management has come through saying that you all looked hurt and that you need to come to the infirmary with him.
Busted. But to be fair, a couple of us did get hurt, like physically. I'm pretty sure. Not everybody, but a
someone
couple did.
tripped.
I'm trying to think what minor injury Adonis got last. So wasn't it like a scraped knee? Something
Yeah.
like that?
Not yet.
Delia hurt her ankle by kicking basically a brick wall.
Legs are not safe. Adonis does a few jumping jacks. I think, as you can see, I'm perfectly fine, actually.
Amelia stands up, but she has all her weight on one leg, the good leg. And of course, mascara is running down her face, but it's always running down her face. So.
Pull it together, Juilliard. We need to present a strong front.
Yeah.
I got rejected. That's why I'm so sad.
I know, but now you are Juilliard, so now you can reject other people, and you'll feel much better.
Yeah, but I'm fine. Don't need infirmary. I'm fine.
Hey, okay, over here, boss.
I'm unscathed.
Well, maybe not mentally.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah.
This what okay.
What, you want the party to meet? No.
I want you all to roll me rapport.
Oh, rapport? Wait, this might actually go well. Where did I put the dice roller?
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay, so I got a -1, but rapport is my top skill. So that would be. Wait, where?
Okay. I think it's because I
So-
said it would be good that it's bad.
So you got a -1. Your rapport is at 4.
That's
would
a
be-
3.
3, yeah.
Okay,
I got
that's.
Uh,
I also got a 2. My rapport is 3, but I rolled 3 neutral dice and 1 -1.
Hey.
My dice keep canceling each other out. I rolled 2 6s and 2 1s. My rapport is +3, so that works out.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Did anyone roll a 6 or more?
Can I use fate? Fate points are just. Can I just be better at this?
If you didn't roll a 6 or more, you can spend a fate point to invoke an aspect if you'd like.
Sure, I've been there. I've been there with 4 unruly people on a roof, all claiming they were completely unscathed. Yeah, sure. I've been there,
who
buddy.
hasn't, right?
I mean, I didn't take any physical stress. Tomi is literally visually unscathed.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a big one, and I'm going to say the situational aspect that is on right now, which is it's a long way down, is being invoked against yous at +2, so that would be an 8. You guys really want to get off this roof.
Yeah, that's right.
You're still not feeling so great after being through all that. The vertigo's still hitting you. Maybe it would be best to go to the infirmary, you think. So that would be an 8 to that
Jeez.
roll. Did anyone get an 8?
No.
Amelia
No.
take a step, and you just see her. She just cries out in pain as soon as she takes that step.
Yeah, it's like for the sake of the other folks in the group, I'm like, we probably.
So y'all are a bit too shooken up to fight this, to like not, and you also think there's an infirmary, so maybe it'll be helpful. They lead you. He leads you down to the infirmary, and you get there, and in the infirmary, give 1 moment. Near the front gate of the building, so not in the building, you are walking outside for this. On the very outskirts of the complex, so across the field to the gate, there is a simple little building with a white cross painted on a green door. So anyone with serious injuries can be taken at any time, day or night. It is staffed by a polite nurse who will always smile kindly, but never meet your eye. It is also surprisingly well stocked for a small infirmary for an apartment complex. And that's strange to you. There's also a surgical bay in the back, which you don't know what that could be needed for. As you enter, you realize all this. And you also see on one of the beds with a hand bandaged up, you guys know as Ernest. He is the head caretaker. Also, someone else who I would assume is either. Well, Raven, what are you doing in there? Raven is here. Raven, what are you doing when this group of people get here?
I guess it depends on how long I've been there. Did I just get here, or have I been in here for a minit?
You've been in here for a bit. When
Okay.
you walked out, you realized it was nighttime, so it was like midnight. And I would assume that you're either here visiting or you've been here with Ernest.
Okay.
Maybe the whole time. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
I'm gonna offer you a fate point to say that you've been here the whole time based on your aspect, champion of the outcast. I think it would make sense that like this guy, he's always kind of around but never really interacting. He's usually nice, but he doesn't talk to many people, so he kind of is someone you want to be there for a little bit. So I'm gonna offer you a fate point to say that I think
Yeah,
Dr. Jenkins would be up all night with this person.
yeah, definitely. And if she saw that it was night as they got to the infirmary, probably would have muttered something like, "The world is broken. I broke the world. I don't know how I broke the world, but the world is broken." Okay, let's deal with Ernest first, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. And yeah, she has been with him the whole time, just waiting to see if he regains consciousness, and then this other group of folks come in. Do I recognize everybody? Because I think I had a connection to almost all, if not, or most, if not all, of the characters.
Let me bring that up. When you all first met in the Daily Java, you didn't really notice that you all knew each other at all. But as you are all here now in this infirmary, you all kind of get a slight feeling that like we've met before.
Okay.
And that's all really. You can't tell where or when or how. Just I think we all know each other somehow.
She'll definitely do the like little squint, like, where do I know these people from? But then notice, there's a lot of folks who are coming in. Like, oh, is everyone all right? Uh, this is going to sound a little crazy, but is the world correct for you?
Oh my gosh. Woo, very
That's how
forward.
Tommy responds. Just like that very short, like,
Just a little laugh.
I mean, the question is, has management dropped us off here? Or are they still there?
Yes, management has walked in with you all.
Okay.
He gives like an eye tilt, like an eyebrow raise at Adria. And then he looks at Nurse Felicia, who is waiting there patiently as you all come in. She is tall. She's got blonde hair. She has a kind face and a chronic inability to meet anyone's eyes. She doesn't ever really seem to make eye contact with anyone. Ooh, I dropped my die. She, when you all walk in, she like quickly puts out a cigarette. You've never seen her outside of the infirmary. She's just always here. But yeah, the management looks at Nurse Felicia and says, these four, they seem to be mentally unwell. If you could look into that. And he
My
walks
ankle.
off.
I've
He
hurt my
walks
ankle.
away. And as he's walking off, he says, that one probably too, pointing at Adria. And Nurse Felicia kind of like sheepishly, like not kind of looking up at him, having kind of a strange look on her face, going, yes, I'll understand. I understand. And he says, good, and he walks out.
Boy, I love
Nurse?
management.
Yeah.
It'd be wise not to trifle with.
Adria chimes
Nurse?
in with,
I listen. I didn't say that. Management is here to help you. They they can just be a little abrasive sometimes. It is best to let them do their job.
Ah, yes, gaslighting, the most used tool of the oppressor.
Um,
Sorry, did I say that out loud?
You did, but I don't think anyone's contesting it here.
Okay. Oh.
Nurse Nurse Felicia kind of nods at what you said just then, like, yes, I think we're all in agreement. So, what can I help you all with? Mental troubles?
Can I have a black cast?
I'm, s- I'm sorry, say that again?
Can I have a black cast for my ankle?
Gestures.
Um, if your ankle is hurt, I will have to check you in and we will check on that. If you would just take any of the beds. No
Are
one's
any,
here except for Ernest.
are any of them black?
No, they're all hospital beds, like the white sheets with maybe like a light blue accent.
This white hurts my eyes, but she's gonna sit down on one.
Felicia puts on like a stethoscope, and she goes up to you and she starts feeling your leg. Where does it hurt?
She points to the ankle that she kicked hard into the wall.
She's feeling it, and she she uh she nods. She goes, "Yeah, feels like just just a bruise. Um, you probably won't need a cast for that. That
Oh.
should heal in no time." Anyways, I guess I have a job to do now. She looks at everyone. If you would all wait in that room over there, and she points over to uh what looks like a surgery room. But you're not sure. She just asked you to wait in that.
Can I have crutches?
You can stay here for now. You and Ernest can stay on the beds for now. I will get with you later if you really can't walk yet.
Oh
She's
boy.
gonna lay down and like kind of look like make herself try to look as unwell as possible. If she has any earbuds, she's gonna like just send that Sarah. Those pictures where people are faking it in a hospital bed, and they like take the earbuds and they make them look like a cannula.
Okay. Yes, if you will all just meet me in the other room, I will be with you in a moment.
Okay.
She seems actually roll me some notices.
Yeah, I
for
would
me.
love to.
She seems totally above board.
Very
Oh.
nice.
I have 0 notice. Nice.
Oh my gosh, that should be possible.
-1.
Oh man. 5 and 4.
Mhm.
Okay.
See,
2.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
that'd be possible. No.
What did you roll, Raven?
2.
Okay.
My dice all cancel each other out, so it's just the 2.
Okay,
Fine.
but that I have a 2 in notice, so that makes it a -1 instead of a -3. Oh my gosh. That can't be possible.
So 4, 5. and everyone who got over a 3 or above. Who got a 3 or above? 4, 5. Those are successes. That is not a tie. You succeed with no cost. Everyone else just simply fails that. Nicole and Tomi. What you notice is that Felicia does not seem comfortable right now and seems very nervous. Very tired and just like she doesn't want to be here.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Looking around, do there seem to be any like security cameras or anything in this room?
Nope.
Okay.
As far as you know, there's no cameras anywhere in the complex at all.
Let me see.
Good to know.
Hey, if you're if if you're tired, Amelia's not going anywhere. Go get coffee and we'll be here.
No, thank you. That is very okay. I don't need any coffee. Plus, I have my own coffee maker here. And she points behind her like reception counter, and there's just like one of those little Mr. Coffee machines.
I usually drink tea in the evening, but it's been a long day. Could I get one of those? Coffee.
I suppose it is utterly bland, though. So, and she grabs like a styrofoam cup and takes the pot, which is already filled. Like it looks like it's probably been sitting there a while.
I'm really glad we're having the nurse do this.
I
I know you're the only employee. Can you get me coffee?
She gives you the coffee. Did she kind of, as she gives you the coffee, she kind of has a thought, and she glances at you, Adria, and says, "Did you say the world wasn't right?"
I believe I did mention something about that. Yes, the whole the door turned into a wall of darkness, and the stairs were seemingly infinite for a while.
You all must meet with me in the other room immediately, please. I am going to roll her rapport. And what you guys can roll against that will either empathy or rapport. Roll me an empathy or rapport against her rapport.
Okay, both of those are the same for me.
Rapport.
Scared to roll.
Oh,
I will let you know now. You have to beat a 7.
Come on.
I don't like this roller. I don't like
Oh
it.
my gosh.
But I have a 4 in rapport, so that's 3.
What is happening? What's going on?
I got a
22.
4 in empathy.
Did you use? No one got like a 7 or above, I'm assuming.
I don't think even if
No.
like I
No.
tried to spend anything, like I don't think I'd be able to equal that.
If I got a perfect roll, I could get 7.
Yeah.
You You think about all of the times you've been into the infirmary. Hit my cheek, sorry. You think about all the times you've been to the infirmary, and Felicia has always been pretty kind to you all. She's very like sheepish and like jittery a lot of the time, but she's always nice. She's always kind. She always treats you with a smile. Um, and you've always come in, gotten treated, and came out. So you guys don't have any reason not to trust her.
Except that this
Hmm.
interferes with my whole drama act of, the serious injury that I received.
Um, so with that
Sorry.
you mentioned that, here's what we're gonna say. Everyone who has any stress right now, stress is healed at the end of every session. So we're at the next session. So all your stress healed right now. And I'll say, Adria, your stress can be healed too, since yours is like a
Okay.
prologue kind of thing.
Physical and mental.
Physical and mental.
Cool. I'm actually feeling much better now.
I'm going to say that when Amelia goes to the infirmary, she always does his dramatic act. Like she gets a splinter and she's in tears.
Being like desperate to like have you all meet her in that room, she like goes into a closet and gets like crutches and hands them to you. Whatever you need, just please. I need you all to meet.
Amelia uses the crutches completely incorrectly, but we'll go back there.
We cannot talk in here.
Fingers.
Is it Ernie over here?
She like does like an exasperate like it.
I'm coming.
It's no issue. This is just the waiting room, and we can't be hogging it. We need to go into the room where I do my examinations. Please.
Sounds good.
It's okay. I'm in here all the time.
Yes, please, Amelia. I know you feel unwell often. But I promised you I checked everything, and you are completely healthy right now.
Well, I'll go into the examination room anyway. And she will
Alright, so
go.
you all head in.
Yeah.
You go in. She enters in. She closes the door, and she like is like looking around. And she pulls out a cigarette and lights it, and takes a drag. You've used one, any?
Sure.
Sorry. Here you go. She hands you one. Gives you the light. Sorry. I know I'm not supposed to. Guilty pleasure of mine. I suppose. You have all been seeing it, have you? Your heads are clearer than usual. Weird things happening more frequently than they usually do.
Yes, well, doors disappearing and turning into walls of darkness is certainly would classify as unusual.
And what happened? Did you made it out? Do you remember?
I remember coming down the stairs, which were
No, not. I know you remember it happening. Do you remember what you saw? Did it come back to you? Do you remember it?
No.
I had a vague recollection of a coffee shop at the university where I taught, and well, it triggered a most distressing
You don't have to tell
PTSD
me.
episode, but
Trust me, it's better if you don't.
I
no,
don't
sorry,
remember.
I tend to be an oversharer.
I understand. You remember. What about the rest of you? I know you said you don't, pointing at Amelia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No one has ever come here remembering it before. It's always a blank. Amelia, I am sorry that part of you is gone now. I cannot help you with that. What I can offer you is normality if you wish. The same I can offer you all, but seeing as it has gotten through to you, you might have a chance of getting through to it. If you wish, I can bring you back into the surgery room as I bring most people who end up here. And I can revert you to the mundanity of the complex if you so wish. You won't have to worry about any of this. You won't have to fight. You won't have to struggle. You won't have to worry about angering management. Abelia, I suggest that for you. If it is gone, I don't know how well your chances of are escaping. But for the rest of you, I can turn a blind eye.
Well, if
Is
I
your
was worried about angering management, my life would be very different. I've never been worried about that. Knowledge is always better.
So hold on, just really fast. So you're talking about escaping the complex? What do you mean by that?
You've seen it, you've heard it. You've been here long enough. Sometimes in the middle of the night, hear something, see something in the corner of your eye. Maybe it is something about the past, something about something you don't quite remember, but you should. This place, this is not where you want to be. This place is not heaven. This place is not hell. This is purgatory. And you are trapped here.
Are you saying we're all dead?
Not dead. Um, just not dead in the literal sense, but maybe dead of spirit, dead of will. Something happened to you that brought you here. Something that killed your spirit. And you have been here ever since. Try to think. Do you remember ever coming here? Do you remember when you moved in? How many memories of this place do you actually have? You've been here for a long time, so you should have many, correct?
It was just. Wait. Adri just sort of looks off in the distance blankly.
Ooh.
This place, it was once a place to help, but it isn't anymore. There are still those here who wish to help you. But there are also those who wish to keep you here. It is your choice whether you want to leave or not. It is dangerously comfortable here. I can offer you the way back to that comfortability if you would. But if you got through, if you got through the illusion and you remembered, I think you might have a chance.
You said I have left hands now.
Amelia, I'm sorry to say, but a part of you is missing now, permanently. It will not come back. And that is a hard thing to deal with. That is a hard thing to come to terms with. If you do escape, you may never be fully back to yourself. And that might be worse than purgatory. But I will not make that choice for you. Usually, when people would come here, I would give them no other choice. I would tell them that I am their friend and that they can trust me. And she starts tearing up a bit. I don't want to do that anymore. You are with people of strong will, and I believe that they may be able to help you if you so wish, since they are able to break through themselves. But again, I will not make that choice for you. So, what is your choice? To all of you.
Well, this has all been fun. But I think I'd prefer to head back to my room. I think I'm all right up here.
She stands in front of the door and she says, "Do not leave until the choice is made. I have to do something. If you go out there without something, they will know. And what they have in store is much worse than what I have in store. So you need to tell me now." And her hand is shaking, and she takes another drag of her cigarette, and she's her hand is over the door. You could tell that you could probably just push her out of the way if you wanted to leave, truly. But she seems very desperate about this. Listen, I am risking myself for this. At this point, I'm done for. Okay? I need to know your choice. Now or never.
So the choice is we can either retain the knowledge that we've gained over the course of this, I guess what we're calling a day. Same time seems to be wibbly wobbly here. So we can do that, or you can make us forget. Is that the choice that we have?
That is the choice.
Yes. Well, that's no choice at all. The forgetting is never better than learning, and even when it's hard, processing is preferable to just suppressing.
I agree.
Does either answer involve there's no you're not gonna be cutting me open or anything, right?
You will not have to undergo surgery if you choose not to stay. If you choose to stay, you will have to undergo surgery. If that makes your choice easier, then so be it. But I would rather you not choose based on whether you must go to surgery or not.
I base a lot of choices on how likely my health insurance will come out.
Honestly, fair.
Yeah. Wise.
As you say that, she kind of slams her fist on the door and says, "This isn't a joke."
All right.
need you to be serious about this.
You know, I think it's at this moment that my character realizes that he's never really liked Felicia, and probably for one very petty reason. I think he didn't realize how much he appreciated eye contact during conversation until he went to the infirmary a couple of times, and it's bothered him to no end ever since. All right, all right. You know what? Hey, man, I just want to get out of here. I just want to leave.
So, Giannis, you will accept my offer then?
Sure. If I must say it out, I will accept your offer. I just want to say, I just want to say bye, Felicia. Okay. I want to finish here and say bye, Felicia. Okay.
Funny. Adria, you accept.
Yes, I wish to retain my knowledge and memories of this day.
Tommy, Nicole, and Amelia, I need to know.
I
It's your choice.
can't really believe that I forgot so much of who I am, and I don't think I want to lose that again. I want to remember.
Amelia and Tommy.
How would I? How bad off would I be?
It wouldn't be. In what scenario?
If we get out?
If I'm being truthful, I have no idea. No one has ever really made it out, especially no one who has lost before. Uh, it it could not be that bad. I just don't know. It's going to have to be a leap of faith if you
Uh,
want to leave.
I'm just gonna take it.
Okay. Tommy, I know you
I don't,
left.
I don't want to be the only dickhead who stays.
Well, you wouldn't remember it.
Hey, no pressure. This is a safe space between us, people who barely know each other. But feel free to make whatever decision you like.
Yeah, I'll go.
She sighs and puts her cigarette out on the wall. She drops her arm from the door. Now that that is settled, please follow me. We want to make this quick. She walks into the surgery room and pulls out 5 beds for you all. Says, I need to induce a hallucination. The only way to cut through the smog and get that part of yourself back is to be inside of the trick. Cannot see through a trick unless you are tricked on. So I need you all to trust me, and I need you all to try your best to see clearly. With that, I'm going to add a situational aspect here. And that is the nurse is here for you. So that is on the field. if you would like to use it for what comes. Are you all going to lay on the tables?
Really?
Go ahead.
Or on the beds? Sorry.
Sure, let's get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
She pulls out a couple IVs as you all lay down, and she starts putting them all into your arms. She says, "This is a mild hallucinogen. You will need it. It may be a little unnerving at first. But again, I am here. If you need me." Okay. She goes over and she shuts all the blinds, and she turns the lights off. Um, it is pitch black and completely quiet in this room. And she says, "I have to open the door. I have to let it in. From that point on, you will no longer be safe. This is your last chance to pull out, but I recommend you don't at this point."
Well, I've had some experience with hallucinations once or twice. I think I'll be fine. See you all on the other side.
Okay.
Or not. Ooh.
Oh, don't say that.
Not
You guys
not
think this
not
is what the
helpful.
government gave people in like the 60s?
What?
Sorry, I'm just really uncomfortable right now.
Really? It's completely quiet right now for once.
Just count some sheep.
Okay. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Good to go.
Okay. She opens the doors, and at first, nothing really happens. But you all start to feel a little woozy. The dark kind of gets darker around you. And right now, what you see is a pitch black room, and all five of you with spotlights on you. Everything else you cannot see. Felicia is gone. You can't see her anymore. And you start to feel a little strange. I'm going to add another situational aspect onto the board. This is for the infirmary itself. It's called Haven from the Storm. I want you all to roll me clarities. Don't worry, this is not the important clarity roll. It's still a little important. This isn't the big one, though.
It's a
Nice.
1 for me.
It's a 1 for me too.
One plus one, so that's two, right?
Yes.
Really quick, last session before Raven got here, we bumped our clarity up, right?
To 2.
Yeah. Everyone Let's cut to aside from Amelia.
Oh, never mind.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because
Oh.
yours is still at 1.
I got a 3 then.
Bye.
Sorry, I just got told my connection went out for a second. I'm back. So I'm assuming no one got an 8 or above.
No.
That was a good roll on the complexes part. What? So I'm gonna go down the line. Heck, you rolled. You said a 5. So you're gonna you start to feel really unnerved and really nervous. You take 3 mental stress. Holly, what was your roll again?
3.
This is bad.
Cool.
You start to feel really scared. You're not doing well right now. You're sweating a bit. You just don't feel safe right now. You take 5 mental stress. So basically, what that means.
3 and 2.
Yes, 3, and then the remaining 2 go into your consequences. So you fill in 3. Your 2 is fine. You'll get a mild consequence. A mild consequence at 2 can be any consequences can be evoked against you. So basically, they are extra troubles. I'm gonna say, don't want to be here.
Yeah, that's fair.
R, what was your roll?
1.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, so that would be 7 mental stress. What I will say is, if you want to make that stress a little less, you can invoke an aspect for a fate point. You have 4 fate points. Fate points will reset to your refresh after every session.
Oh, so it's I actually have 3 then.
Yeah, you would actually have 3. If you'd like to use a fate point, we do have the ones on the board, which are the nurse is here for you, and Haven from the Storm. Or you can use one of your aspects. If you would like to mitigate the damage or try and roll a better.
I guess I'll invoke an aspect.
Okay. What would you like to invoke?
Nurse is here because that seems a bit more tangible to Ace than just the the area he's in.
So
Reaching around. Felicia
hears your panic, and she comes to you, and she holds your hand, and she's like, it's okay, you can do it. I believe in you. And you hear her clearly, and you feel her clearly. You still can't see her. And with that, you either get to re-roll or add a +2 to your roll, whichever you would like.
No. I need a cigarette. I'm starting a new habit because this is very stressful.
She obliges. She puts a cigarette in your mouth and lights it.
Re-roll or +2. Do I chance or what's certain?
If you do +2, it will be 5 damage.
Boy.
Which would be your slot 3 and a minor consequence, which is not horrible, but it's not great. If you re-roll, you could mitigate a lot more, but you could also take a lot more.
the things I can't trust my rolls right now since they're all so bad. I guess I'm gonna settle for the +2.
Okay, so you will fill in your 3 slot, and the consequence, smoker's lung.
Nice.
You really speed run that new habit.
This is a minor consequence, so it isn't that bad, but it you're not breathing as well as you were before. Raven, what was your roll? Remind me.
So my roll was a 1. And what I'm wondering is, could I use a fate point to do the stunt? I've read about that to replace clarity with lore, which would
Yeah, you
make
can
my
do that.
roll a 5.
Yeah, you can do that.
Should have used a fate.
And I think the reasoning here is Adria has mostly lived and taught in blue states where cannabis is legal. So she's done a lot of reading on side effects, things like that, and had some experience with hallucinogenic properties. And so instead is going back and like, oh, I know what's happening. Like these chemicals are happening in my brain, and that's causing this, and so it seems less scary.
So you bring you down to 5. That would give you 3 mental stress, and that's it. You don't get a consequence.
Okay.
Before we move on, I do want to mention now that you used the nurse is here for you, Par, that's gonna go away now. What happens is you cannot see into the room, but you all suddenly hear Felicia screaming. She's like, it's okay, they won't interfere, and she's getting farther away, and you hear kind of a struggle. She's like, don't trust them. When you wake up, just find out where it's coming from. Just it's okay, you'll be okay. And her voice fades out, and she's gone. And the aspect
Hi,
nurse,
Felicia.
Oh my god.
Jamie, what was your role again?
2.
2. Would you like to try and use a fate point to invoke an aspect and mitigate that damage?
Yeah.
If you add 2, that'd be 4. Right now it's at 5 damage. If you invoke, it would be 3 damage. What would you like to invoke?
I don't even know now. The one I was going to use is gone.
Oh, your refresh is 4. So at the beginning of the session, you would put your fate points back to 4. So you are at 4 right now.
No, I was going to, the aspect I was going, what was the other aspect I could use? Or is that all?
You could use any of them, as long as it makes sense in the moment. I can give you suggestions if you want.
Yeah, please.
I think I can do that. Could work. You could also invoke your high concept, the Riot Girl violinist, because you're just like, yeah, I'm scared, but I kick ass. I've been to raves, or not raves, but I've been in a mosh pit that was worse than this. I've been to concerts that were louder than this, scarier than this. I'm strong even if I'm scared, kind of thing.
I'll do I can do that.
Okay, so for I can do that, we'll say, yeah, you're scared, but you know you can get through this. Despite what happened before, despite whatever you lost, you still know that you can do anything if you put your mind. So you invoke that. Are you doing +2 or a roll?
Um,
A reroll, sorry.
these dice. Come on, dice. Be nice to me.
Are you re-rolling?
Yes.
Ooh, going for the risky
Yeah.
option.
Okay. +2 +1, so 3.
3. Okay.
This is great.
So you're gonna take 4 mental damage. What you can do is you can either fill in your 3 box and give yourself a mild 2 consequence, or you can take that 4 and put it straight into the 4 consequence, so you can save all your mental stress. Remember, you don't fill in all the boxes; you just fill in what you're putting it in.
Okay, I would take 4 consequence.
For your 4 consequence, I'm gonna put. So there's mild, minor. This is minor. We're gonna say lost in your head, because you're a little shaken up. You're a little lost after your memory being on. So you're just kind of in your own head right now. That's everybody. So you're all pretty razzled up after that. Start at the top again. Nicole, your aspect art is a movement. Give me the memory you associate with that aspect.
Yeah. I think that that one is associated with a time that she was in college. Um, she noticed that you know how various like school clubs and stuff like that make like chalk drawings on the sidewalks to
Yes.
like advertise for events and that kind of stuff, just kind of a fun way to communicate things across campus in a kind of artistic way. um I think that she noticed that campus was getting very dull and there was just kind of this general um, sadness kind of hanging over the entire campus. And she took the time one night to go out in front of a whole bunch of the academic buildings and just write as much positivity as she could possibly muster in front of just all of them. Just to say things like, um, you are loved, you are important, um, don't give up, and don't forget about what's important.
So in this darkness, you see this scene of this memory play out so far as you remembered. Um, and what happens is it keeps going, and eventually, a lot of people start seeing your messages. At first, you think that's great. That's what I wanted, but you get called into the dean or the principal, whatever this institution had, um, and they sit you down and they say, "This is an act of vandalism. You are vandalizing property. Um, this is unacceptable, and I'm sorry, but uh, we have to expel you." Um, and you feel heartbroken at that. You were just trying to do something good for some people, and it kind of blew up in your face. Now is the big one. I would like you to roll clarity for me.
Okay. Ooh, don't do this to me, dice. Gotta work for me here. Gosh. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I can go with that. Plus 2. Okay, so got a +3 minus 1. That's 2, and then plus 2, so 4.
Okay. That would be a 6 on my part.
Could I spend my last fate point here and invoke a aspect?
What would you like to invoke?
The champion of the outcast to give +2 to another character's roll.
I'll allow it. What do you do to help? I'll say this. Depending on what you say, I may say this might apply for everyone.
Okay. I have the feeling that Adria starts to sense that maybe some of the group is starting to falter or freak out a little bit. And so just offers some reassuring words, just running everybody through like the word just escaped my brain. Mindfulness techniques. And saying, all right, just everybody remember that you are in charge of your own minds, and this is scary, but we are all here together, and we will get through this.
You all hear Adria. You hear them very clearly. There's nothing drowning each other out here sound wise. So you hear that. And what I'm gonna say is you're invoking that on Nicole. So Nicole will get the +2 for the help. And what I will say is I'm going to add a boost to this. So a situational aspect, a one-time use. And that will be Dr. Jenkins' words of advice.
Oh, I love that.
That's the name of the next podcast, by the way.
Yes.
It's the spin-off.
I'm kidding.
Okay. So Nicole gets +2. You're now at 5. You have to get to 6. So you if you can make a case for any of your aspects or your high concept, you can spend a fate point to get the +2 and beat that.
Wait, did I miss something? Sorry, just math. Because I rolled a 4.
Oh, you rolled a 4.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
never mind. You can still invoke an aspect if you want to avoid the minor cost from tying. But you're gonna succeed.
Yeah, I may as well at this point because I also wanted to invoke an aspect. So I was like, you know what, let's do it for the story. Let's do it for the story here. Yeah, I think colors outside the lines would be very applicable here. Just because Nicole is always known that is very different. And if this institution is kind of limiting how she can be in the world, maybe she shouldn't be part of it.
You see this memory play out. you walk out of the office feeling dejected, feeling like a failure. And you walk down one of the halls, taking your last look at the school. And out of one of the rooms walks Dr. Adria Jenkins, who runs into you, looking at one of the messages you left around campus about having high hopes. And Dr. Jenkins is looking at it. What would you say, Nicole, to Dr. Jenkins about having this note? You feel really bad about this being called vandalism. Maybe you're not very proud of it right now.
I mean, I think it would still be very apparent on Nicole's face that she is distraught that she's being asked to leave about this. Like, it's still, it still stings despite like how tough she wants to be about it. Like, I definitely think that this was still worth it, but damn, do the consequences still hurt.
So, Dr. Jenkins, you hear Nicole say that to you, and you're not quite sure what Nicole means. No one on campus knows who did all this, but from that you might add up what happened. How do you respond? How would Dr. Jenkins respond in that moment?
Remind me again, what was the thing that was considered vandalism?
So Nicole, they left a bunch of notes around campus. I assume probably may have wrote some stuff on some walls or something, just to keep high hopes. Not like anything huge, not like spray painting a whole mural on a wall, but like maybe writing on a table or something, painting something on a window or something about like staying strong.
Okay.
And just leaving notes everywhere. They call it vandalism and like littering, and they're really harsh about it.
Okay. And then the question for me again, one more time, sorry.
Yeah.
What was the question for me again?
Oh, how do you respond to Nicole coming up to you and seeing that note in your hand and saying like,
Okay.
it was still worth it.
The consequences for doing the right thing are seldom enjoyable. I tried to talk them out of that. I'm very sorry they decided to go forward with that, but I do hope you can take some of the lessons that I've taught you. Hopefully, the ones that the subject matter in textbooks, and that they're not what's important. I hope you take this spirit and ferocity and apply it to other aspects of your life going forward. I applaud your efforts.
I definitely will. You're right. I've learned a lot more than just what's on the page from your class.
I'm very glad to hear that. And if you ever need anything, I don't have a lot to offer, but if you need something, you know how to contact me.
Will do.
You give Dr. Jenkins a final goodbye with those words in your head, those words of encouragement. And you walk out, you walk onto the main campus grounds, big field, some walkways around, maybe a fountain, a lot of trees. And you see people around campus reading all of the notes you left, all of the things you said. They don't know who said it. They don't know where they came from, but what you can tell is that this little act has made an impactful change on everyone around campus. Everyone seems to be in higher hopes now. Not perfect, but whatever was going on is a little farther behind now. And with that memory back in your head, um, you will take one mental stress from just remembering the fear and shock and hurt of just being expelled for doing something good. Um, that is the cost, the minor cost. But now you come out of this knowing, like, even if there is no reward, even if what you do tends to be tends to blow up in your face, if you're doing good, then the reward is the goodness you put out into the world itself, and you know that. um, with that, your clarity will increase by one, and your phase 3 aspect, all art is a movement, is unlocked. It's no longer unreliable. I have no control over that memory. It is completely yours, and it is completely back to you. Next, we have in a my line, Tomy. Explain the memory behind your aspect. Sometimes you gotta cause a little trouble.
Um, I I think uh it was a connection to Amelia. I think I know that like the concept behind it was Tomy knows that sometimes the only way they really know how to help people is by making a mess that people can't ignore. Um, Sometimes that's just to inject a little levity. You know, people like making fun of the fool tumbling around. Um, but they've definitely. I think the core memory around this is seeing a cop bugging someone a little aggressively and deciding to be too big a problem to ignore so that the other person could get away.
Okay, so let's say you come in to help whatever is happening so the other person can get away. um the cop, as cops are, is not nice about it. You might get pushed around, you might get pushed down a bit. We don't gotta get too heavy into what happens there, but um you remember you remember getting arrested and the other person who you helped got away. Here is not quite the same. What happens is you tried to stir up a little trouble so they could get away, but it ended up with you both in the back of the car. Um, let's roll our clarity.
Right. Okay. Well, 6. I got all successes.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are the luckiest D6s I've ever used.
You also happened to get a lucky roll of 4 in the opposition. What you can do if you want, if you would like to invoke an aspect to get +2, and succeed with style, you can do that. And succeeding with style basically means you get to add whatever kind of temporary aspect onto the field you want. if you succeed with style.
Yeah, I'll use one of my stunts. You would say this is a stressful situation, right?
Definitely, yeah, yeah.
I would like to use my stunt quips to get a free invoking of my high concept.
Awesome. That works. How is your high concept, the runaway trickster, helping you in this scenario? And not in the memory, but in this um hallucination zone.
I'm personally struggling to come up with a quip right now, but I think Tomy, um, again, it's like making light of a serious situation. Um, so I think in the midst of all of it, since we all heard Adria talking to Nicole, right?
Yeah.
So Tomy is aware that we're all here in this group, and I think Tomy cracks a joke that I can't come up with right now. To sort of uh, try to get a laugh out of everyone. Try to remind them that the situation doesn't have to be this serious, this dire.
Okay. You do that. That will add your +2. You succeed with style. That adds a boost onto the field. That can be whatever you want. I am here. I can offer suggestions if you want, but a one-time use aspect for anyone to use for free.
God, I'm trying to think of a witty name for it, but I think it is like that, like trying to make, like sometimes it's easy to laugh.
We'll just say like Tomy's laughter.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cute though.
Tommy tried cracking a joke, but it was one of those things where like you have the joke in your head and it's funny enough that it just makes you laugh and you can't finish it.
Okay. So you succeed with style. You get into this police car, and the cop kind of walks away to talk on his radio for a bit, and his back is turned. And inside this car with you is Amelia. Amelia was doing some riot girl shit and got into some trouble. And you tried to come to help. And it didn't exactly go great for you. While you're sitting in the back of this police car, what do you two say to each other?
No, I'm blanking.
You know how to break out of this thing?
I mean, yeah, I've managed to get out of a few, yeah.
Can we go? I don't want to be here.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's always good to see a pig surprised.
I really don't want to see him. I just want to not be in the vicinity.
All right.
What I will offer, because I think it would be funny, because you are talented with your hands. I think Tomy would definitely be able to get out of these handcuffs. But also afraid of connection. Probably don't like explain what's happening to Amelia at all. You just kind of go for it because you're not used to talking.
Yeah.
I will offer you a fate point for that if you accept.
Yeah, if it's not like making a joke about things, Tommy doesn't really know how to connect with people.
So here's what I will say happens if you accept. You break out of the handcuffs, you get your door unlocked, and you somehow sneak over to the policeman. You take his keys without him noticing, and you get into the car and you steal the cop car.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this memory plays out, something you are not entirely familiar with, but as it plays out, it becomes more familiar to you. That night you steal this cop car and you get away. That's kind of made you a kind of a fugitive.
It's fine.
But you're never caught because cops are pretty incompetent. You're never really caught. And you kind of just get away with this police car and Amelia inside. Yeah, and then you come away realizing, like, maybe if you didn't cause enough trouble, you should cause more, and that'll solve your problems. You succeeded with Styles. There's no consequence to this. You just kind of like, I'm a fucking trickster, and that's what I like, and it's always gotten me out of those fucking situations.
Yeah.
There's no real lesson other than like, keep causing trouble. Your memory is awakened. Your aspect is the memory to that aspect is no longer unreliable. It's yours and yours completely. I can no longer mess with it. Let's move on to Adonis. Explain to me the memory behind Jack of all trades, master of none.
I think. Oh, it's right. That's related to the professor. So I think back in university, Adonis was just sort of start of second year. Was sort of like, what am I doing here? What's my major going to be? I'm going to figure this out now. When one of his friends recommended that he take Professor Jenkins's class, let's call him Rodney. Bro, I swear, if you just take this class, you're going to learn so much, my man. Oh, trust me. Listen, I had it at the end of last semester, and let me tell you something. I failed just so I could take it again. First of all, I don't think it works like that, but okay. I'll give it a shot. And Adonis ended up taking the class with Professor Adrian Jenkins and ended up, even after the class was over, going back for guidance and, just poking the brain and picked up a lot of skills from that and ended up learning a lot of useful skills that help him in his vagabond ways now.
Let's say this. As you keep going through the memory, you remember having a pretty good time and a pretty easy time in that class. What you don't remember is how stressful that class actually was. The whole time in the class, it was a lot of stress and it weighed on you heavily that whole year and maybe got in the way of some other studies. Before I go any further with that, let's roll your clarity. And I will remind you, we have Haven from the Storm on the board, the one-time use Tommy's laughter on the board, and the one-time use Dr. Jenkins' words of advice on the board, if need be.
Wow. Okay, let's roll it up.
I would also like to note that Nicole has a stunt called Best Foot Forward, which is twice per session you may upgrade a boost into a full situational aspect, which would mean it would still be a one-time free, but it won't go away if you would like to use that.
So I rolled a 2. I rolled a plus, a minus, and 2 neutral dice. So
I haven't rolled yet, so we'll see. Okay. That is a 6.
All right, do you want me to help with that stunt?
Your options are this. You can use one of these boosts and invoke an aspect. That'll be +4. You tie with a minor success. You can invoke one of your aspects, try to reroll for a better number, and then maybe use some of the boosts if you want to go risky. Also, anyone here can invoke aspects to help you. Or if you think it would be more interesting to, you can choose to fail.
I don't. I failed enough this session, I feel like. Well, I'll invoke Haven from the Storm before anything.
Okay. So that is not a free one, so you would have cost 1 fate point.
Sure. Yep.
So the comfort of knowing that this is a safe place, or at least was a safe place, keeps you a bit calmer. I don't know if you're re-rolling or adding to.
Oh, sorry, I rolled a 0, so I have 2. +2, 4. And just because I think it's fitting, I think it was the professor's advice. It was one of the
Dr. Jenkins' words of advice. That one would be free, because it is a boost.
Help.
Give me 1 second to look up something. Okay. Yeah, you invoke that. You hear Dr. Jenkins' words of advice ring out in your ear. That boost will go away. You get that for free. That would be +4. And you have made it up to 6. That will be succeeding with a succeeding with a minor. I hit my elbow on my keyboard. I succeed with a minor consequence.
Sure.
You continue this memory. You continue this memory, and you go on. And at the end of the year, you are just completely stressed and just completely drained. But you remember all of the words of advice from Dr. Jenkins. You're sitting in their class one day, and you're very clearly like exhausted and just out of it. Maybe it's one of the final days, and Dr. Jenkins notices this. How would Dr. Jenkins react to this student who is just completely out of it?
Probably by offering to get them a cup of coffee, and chat about whatever it is that's got them, out of it or losing sleep, or just kind of be there to listen and try and help them out.
You get those words. You get some words of advice from Dr. Jenkins, and you realize that even through all this stress, you still learned so much. And it's it's gone on to inspire you as a reliable person. Like, you heard those words that helped you that day, that inspired you to help others in the same way. Now that you have all these skills at your disposal, you realize that like even if you are really stressed, you might be able to help others not be so stressed in the future. And plus, you've gained a lot of skills. So with that, you'll take one mental stress for remembering the stress of those classes as a minor consequence. Um, and your phase 3 memory, your aspect memory, is now awakened. You can remember it completely, and I can no longer mess with it. It's no longer unreliable. And we move on to Dr. Adria Jenkins. Explain to me the memory of your phase 3 aspect, champion of the outcast.
Um, it's probably the memory of everyone here that just had memories of me helping them. um, so memories of probably yelling at the dean of the school uh, for kicking Nicole out, and memories of um, sorry, what's Par's character? What's your character name again?
Adonis.
Adonis. Memories of helping Adonis. Maybe work through scheduling or work through difficult classes, and um, maybe maybe Adria helped. I am really bad at remembering character names. Uh, Amelia and
Tomy would
Tommy.
be the other.
Maybe she helped them ditch the cop car or something like that at some point. Made sure that they
Oh my
didn't get caught.
gosh.
Dr.
Wow.
Jenkins is a cool professor.
So what I'll say is, I don't have to twist this one much. What I'll say is, you remember all of these good times and all of these good things you did to help. But what suddenly comes to you as well as that is all of the times you failed and all of the heartache of seeing maybe students fail when you've tried your best and you've given it your all. Um, Anything like that, troubles with administration, uh, all of that comes with you as well as all of the good, and we're gonna roll clarity for that.
All right. Hopefully I roll well because I got nothing left. So it's 2, so +2, so that's a 4 total. It's actually not too bad.
So that would be a tie. I also rolled a 4.
Yes.
That's a success at a minor cost, unless you would like to use something to. I mean, +2, you wouldn't succeed with style, but you can avoid the minor cost, which might not be worth it because Amelia is still up and might need those boosts.
Yeah, no, I'm good with the minor cost. That's totally fine.
Yeah, so the minor cost is remembering all of the times you may have failed, and that kind of hits your mental stress. You take one mental stress, you fill your one box. Remembering that just kind of makes you feel a little discontent, a little uh just a little bad. But also you realize that you've also helped a lot of people, and those failures are what helped you learn. Nobody's perfect, and everyone has a journey to learning. You see that in every one of the students you've ever had. You see that. You see that in Tommy, who you've had as a trickster and helping him do his trickster ways, but morally. You see that in Nicole, who just did everything they could to be good, and it blew up in her face, but You know that she learned that even that is a good thing in its own. With Amelia, who has a lot of emotional problems, and just being able to calm them down and teach them how to control their emotions a bit more. And with Adonis, who you've taught so much, probably the most, the person who learned the most from your class overall, even if it was to his detriment a little bit. But you realize that like these failures are what makes you you and what makes you able to have these accomplishments. And with that, this is awakened. Your memory is no longer unreliable. I cannot fuck with it anymore. That is that. Also for Holly and Par and Raven, you all get the +1 to your clarity as well.
So does that move mine up from a 2 to a 3?
Yes. Now
Very
we
cool.
go on to Amelia. Amelia, are you? I hope
Can,
Amelia is ready.
can I just throw everything at this so I don't continue to
If
fall
you
behind
want,
everybody?
if you want, let's see, how many fate points do you have?
I think I have 3 left.
You have 3, so you have a lot. We still have Haven from the Storm and the Tommy's Laughter boost here. Um, yeah. So explain to me the memory behind You Gotta Learn, your phase 3 aspect.
That's Amelia begging Adira to do a to let her into a class that she was not able to get into.
So begging who to get into a class, you said?
Did I say the name wrong? Adira?
Who I didn't, I just didn't hear. I'm
Oh.
sorry. Who did you say? Can you just repeat that because I cut out?
Adira?
Adira? Yes. So the memory plays out. You really wanted into this class. And let's say the class was for a senior class and you weren't a senior yet. But you just really wanted into this class and you were obeying Adria, and what happens is Adria does as much as they can. She can't help that much because that's all up to administration. And what happens is you end up not being able to get into said class. And that you don't remember. You remember this going well. You remember begging to get into the class and you getting in. But this memory is all wrong to you. So with that, let's roll our clarity.
I don't want to.
I'm
I'm scared to.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I want to just throw everything. Yeah, I got a minus. I got 0.
You got a 0?
Well, I got -1, and I only have 1 to my clarity. So yeah.
So here's the deal. I did roll a 6. So you have 3 fate points though. So you can do the safe thing and find a way to invoke 3 things. To be fair, Tommy's Laughter is free. That's a boost, it will go away, but it is free. So you can use that. I'm gonna say you're probably gonna wanna.
Yeah.
So we're at 2. You need 4 more. You can choose to invoke something to re-roll. You
No.
can try and find 2 things to invoke with 2 fate points. Someone can also help you. I would assume that the rest of you know that Amelia is probably definitely struggling right now because even Nurse Felicia said this was probably dangerous for Amelia because they lost something already. So you guys might know that Amelia's probably struggling more than you all are. If any of you would like to try and invoke an aspect to help, or if you have any stunts, I don't know how all of your stunts work, but some of them can be helpful.
Yeah, like I could make the boost and play a full situation aspect, right? Would that
So
be
I wouldn't. um,
okay? It was like, yeah, this person was
simply
just like because it's free and fate points.
Yeah, so the helpful
Okay.
thing with that is if before everyone went and you did that, then everyone could use it with a fate point. But right now, everyone's kind of had their time and it's just Amelia. And if you do that, that would kind of make it cost a point, which we don't
Mhm.
want.
Hmm.
So,
She
Jamie, let's
invoke.
look at what was that?
She can invoke. I can do that.
Sure, yeah. That works perfectly. Just you can get through this. You spend a fate point. Um, are you re-rolling or are you adding +2?
Nobody can help.
Um, you have more fate points, so even if
Let's do
nobody can
that.
help you, you can invoke the Haven from the Storm.
Nobody can help me. I'll use the 2 fate points.
Okay.
I mean, I would.
I don't.
Yeah, I think. Well, okay. Tell
Listen,
me if
and
this is a bad use of form over function. I would love to invoke this. But this could be like
Go
not
ahead.
even like a really good use of it.
Let me hear it.
But
I use
Amelia wanted a black cast, right? Can I find something in this room to make it a black cast?
Oh man.
Just a Sharpie.
Like any like charcoal or something like that. Like I don't know.
Okay. I think this is interesting, so I'm gonna allow it. So we'll get. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to get Amelia up to 6, but because it is Nicole giving Amelia the help, I'm going to take that tie minor consequence and give it to Nicole.
Okay.
If that is okay.
Yeah. I have
Okay.
one more slot left. We'll be fine.
Nicole, you get up even though this room is pitch black to you and you're like dizzy and you wander around trying to find something. You're just feeling around aimlessly and you pick something up and you can't see it, but you can feel it in your hands and it is like one of those black boot casts. And you hearing Amelia's struggles, maybe I assume Amelia might be crying a little bit because she is emotional, and she has been like uh, getting emotional from all the things that have happened. This is stressful. You are able to find Amelia through the noise. Again, you can't see her. You shove the boot on her foot somehow. You manage to get it on her foot. Um, doing so, you kind of fall over. You bang around a bunch while you're wandering around. So I'm gonna give you 1 physical stress. Um, Amelia, you see this memory about to fade. Like you want it so bad, but it's going away, and then you feel this boot come onto your foot, and you notice it's the black boot you wanted. Um, and with with Tommy's laughter in the air, in the room, it calms you down. You take a deep breath and the memory starts to come back and starts to play from where you left off. You didn't get to class, but Dr. Jenkins managed to convince uh, the faculty, the not management. You made it into class, and then the next year you were able to go to Dr. Jenkins' class officially. And you didn't take the minor consequence, so there's no consequence to this. Your memory that was unfamiliar becomes familiar. You're remembering this clearly now. You gotta learn. That's what you know from this, is that no matter what, you're gonna get into those things that you want to learn, and you're gonna learn. At whatever cost it takes. And you made it into the class. So with that, the memory is now reliable. I cannot mess with it anymore, and you remember it completely. With that, with everyone moving their clarity up one from their success, you guys come out of the hallucination after your memory, and you all wake up next to each other. You all look a little frazzled after that. It was stressful. You have any words for each other?
Professor?
I see everyone remembered things. It's good to see you all again and actually remember who you all are. I knew you all looked familiar. See, I told you we would get through this.
How the hell did I end up here?
What you
with
all
you?
also realize What you all also realize is that you all took this class at the same time. You were all classmates at one point or another, other than Adria, who was the professor. So you all remember that now. You've known each other. You've met, whether that be a deep connection or just passing remarks. You've met before.
Is this kind of weird homework assignment?
What?
No. I'm afraid it's not homework. Not sure what this is.
I don't think we're out yet.
True.
I
How do we-
suspect there's many more processing memory and emotions and traumas sessions before we're out of this.
I don't know how much more of those I can take. I just want to get out of here. I'm
Well,
already.
There's a bright side.
What is it about?
And it is.
Care to elaborate?
I remembered that I was top of the class. I rule.
Yes, you were.
I remembered I know how to hijack a car. So
Yes, that might come in handy later, I'm sure.
You know how to get out of handcuffs too.
yeah. The memories can't catch me if I'm in a cruiser.
Oh boy.
Before you guys can reminisce even more, I'm cutting off this sweet, heartfelt moment. You hear a couple footsteps at the door, and you notice that this door is swung open. There's a bunch of papers kind of knocked over. There looks like there was a struggle. Some things are kind of messy. Two management personnel step in the doorway, and they cross their arms and look at you, say, "This won't do it all." And with that, we're gonna end there.
Oh, that's a great cliffhanger ending.
Uh-huh.
Love
Next
that.
time
Oh,
we
I
learn how to
stand it.
manage management.
Friend,
Um, okay. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week for the final episode.
Oh man.
Today, our cast was Heck. Tell us where we can find you, who you are.
Yeah. Hey everybody. You can find me on all the social medias at Sir Heckalot, including Twitch, Itch, Twitter, Instagram. I'm all over the place. Just find me. It's the best place to figure out where I'm gonna be in the TTRPG space next. I tend to wander just a lot. But I do tend to do a lot of work with Neon Lights roleplay, Lost Caravan RPG, as well as Endor Adventures. So if you want to see more of what I do in the space, just check out the APs on there. There's some really good stuff. That is uh, it for me.
Holly, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm a tabletop game designer. You can find me on Twitter at RoxasBuddy. And you can find my games on itch.io by searching Holly Crown.
Mr. Parr, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Mr. Parr. I just play TTRPGs. You can find me on YouTube at Mr. Parr, Twitch at Mr. Parr, and Twitter at Mr. Parr 4E.
Raven, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Hello, I'm Raven. I am a professional game master and game designer and voice actor. And you can find my games and stuff over at Start Playing Games. Just search for RAVYN. And then I'm on Twitter and Hive at the RAVVYN. So two V's for Twitter and Hive. I do lots of different things in the tabletop realm. And I had a ton of fun playing Dr. Jenkins this evening. That was really great.
Janie, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
hi, I'm Janie. I social medias that I can't think of right now. Janie Potts 7575. I play games. I sometimes run them, and other things and places.
Okay, and I am Mateo. I am a game designer. I am a game player. I do all the stuff. You can find me at Certified Milk Boy. That's certified with a Y because certified doesn't fit. But you can find me at Certified Milk Boy on Twitter, Milk Boy Games on Instagram or TikTok, and I'm starting a Tumblr soon. It's up. I haven't posted anything on it really, but you can find me there. But don't bother finding me because by the time this is up, Tears of the Kingdom is going to be out, and I'm going to be off the face of the earth. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
check out Nerds with Dice on Twitter to see more lovely games with lovely people. And once again, I will mention that this game is heavily inspired by the No Exit Adventure by Shoshana Kessock in the Fate Worlds in Darkness module adventure book. So if you are into this, you can check out that. It is a little different. This is very heavily inspired, but I did put my own twists. But yeah, other than that, we'll see you next week. And thanks for coming. Bye bye.